Let's go. All right, welcome back to the frequency of your choice 1076 this morning. As we announced earlier, of course, we have the privilege to talk to the aspiring candidate for November 23rd GNOC election by Dudu Jalo. And of course, he's here with the guy leading him here in the studio is Njie. Of course, we'll speak to both of them. Of course, first, let me just start with aspiring president. First, welcome to the program. Good morning, bye.
Good morning, Lamin and Barbaro. And also good morning to all the listeners on Afri Radio.
All right, it's good to have you. Of course, Yoro, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Del, the household name, and to all the listeners.
All right, it's good to have you both. Let me first begin with the question to Bai Dudu Jalo. Mr. Jalo, congratulations, by the way, on your appointment just last week that we saw online volleyball, part of the hierarchy in volleyball in Africa. First, let me ask you um, your tenure in volleyball. I mean, how would you sum up volleyball first before we go to your manifesto?
Yeah,
As president, we have seen so many unprecedented things that have happened. How will you sum up your tenure in volleyball?
yeah, thank you very much, Del.
Mhm.
And once again, good morning to all the listeners on Afri Radio. Yes, the Gambia Volleyball Federation, of course, has been under my leadership
Mm.
for the last 8 years now. And but I mean, even before being the leader or the president of the Gambia Volleyball Federation, I have served many positions in the federation, in the volleyball federation, from treasurer to secretary general, a number of years, and then first vice president before becoming the president. I think, yes, significantly, volleyball have really developed from just being a fun sport in this country, which is an amateur level, to a level where we are among the big volleyballing country now in Africa, countries in Africa. I mean, in Africa right now, if you look at both beach volleyball and indoor volleyball, especially in beach volleyball, we are among the top countries in Africa. And in any of the top competitions, the teams to look out for include the Gambia. And now in indoor volleyball also we've been rising. We have participated in the various categories under 19, under 21, and now to the senior level on 2 occasions, which has also brought up the level even in indoor volleyball. I mean, to the level where our players now, are look out for by other countries. Just this past few weeks or so, we have three top players moving to Rwanda to play in the Rwanda First Division National League. So really, volleyball have improved. The number of teams in our national league have increased, and you will be amazed that even in the female category, the number of teams have seriously increased. We have a lot of volleyball development centers dotted around the country right now, which means we are also grooming from the grassroots many players. The number of players employed through volleyball is huge. If you look at, we have the Gambia Armed Forces team. All the players in that team are employed and are benefiting at the end of every month. You look at the police team, both male and female. Armed Forces team also is both male and female. And you look at the team, the fire service team, the Gamtel team, the prisons team. These are all teams, that have all the participants in these teams are employed. So volleyball is like a source of employment also for a lot of youths in this country. And I can tell you many stories. Some youths have really escaped the vices of society through volleyball.
All right, so that's
Yes,
interesting. That's
really.
that's really interesting.
So yeah. In addition, I would add, we have become African champions
In
in
2019,
2019. We have also won the If you look at the Commonwealth Games qualification for Africa, we became champions at the African level, participated almost up to the quarterfinal of the Commonwealth Games, attended 2 world championships at the senior level, which is like the World Cup of volleyball. And even under 21 also, we've been African champions and participated in the under 21 in both male and female. And also, recently under 19, we had bronze medalists in female and participated in the world championship. So volleyball have really risen, really rise to the highest level in the world in terms of participation. We have athletes, some in Dubai, some in Qatar. We even have an athlete who is playing in the European Champions League in volleyball. So for me, really looking at volleyball from when we came in to date, I think it's a huge success.
So you think you've already served your quota, now you want to look at the bigger office, that's the GNOC?
Yes, I think I have done very well at the level of volleyball, and that has given me the platform to really go for this position at the Gambia National Olympic Committee, because I think with this experience and over these years, I'm just talking about the sport, but the administration part, I have been the president of Zone 2 for the last 4 years, being a board member of the CAVB, and just now you see that I'm appointed as the president of the Sport Organization Commission, which is the biggest commission on the CAVB, responsible for all the sporting programs, both beach and indoor. So, I mean, with these experiences and even the experience I had as being a board member of the GNOC for 4 years, really has given me right now the platform and the maturity, the experience to really go to the NOC and lead and do very, very well. I am very much, this is something I'm really sure of. I'm very much passionate about it. I'm confident, and I'm sure this is, I can do a very good job if I get the opportunity to be.
So in your manifesto, I've seen that you said you want to promote good governance in GNOC and national federations. You want to also make sure that financial support to national federation and revenue generations, also promote diversity, inclusivity, and also women in sports. I mean, how are you going to do some of these things? Especially, let's talk about this one: the financial support to national federations and revenue generation, because we know some of these federations or associations, one of their biggest challenges is finance.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very important pillar in our manifesto. And if you look at the GNOC now, right now, there are many opportunities with respect to Olympic solidarity. You have a lot of opportunities. I mean, I am sure I can tell you very well that we are not exploiting all the opportunities at the IOC through the Olympic solidarity. And our intention is to really make sure we have a very strong secretariat, and we make sure we go for all the possible.
Was the secretariat weak?
I think the secretariat needs strengthening. Seriously.
My question: it was the secretariat weak?
Yeah, in my perspective, the secretariat is not very strong. It needs to be strengthening. It needs to be strengthened, really, in terms of personnel, especially in terms of the number of people who are working there and the expertise of those people. I think we need to look at how that can be boosted and strengthened, so that we are able to attract all these opportunities and be able to have the right personnel and people to implement them here in country. But in addition to that, you now need a lot of partnership. The GNOC is an institution that can partner with local organizations, both public and private, in different areas. If you look at the manifesto, it's talking about even environmental issues and so on. So we can partner with many institutions in the country. And when we partner with these institutions, we are going to, do it in such a way that there are some revenue streams that are coming in. And through this, you can support the national federations and their respective activities. So we are looking at really all these kind of collaborations, both international and also local, and so that we support
one of the things you also mentioned is that the promotion of women in sports. Of course, we know women in our society somehow vulnerable, and of course, how are we going to do some of these things to make sure that they get what they deserve, and of course they are not used as an object to get people to use them to
Yeah,
get fun,
yeah,
and they are not
yeah.
utilizing on the women as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I think in our manifesto it has come out clear that we will promote. Really, we are even looking at the IOC 30% 30% gender quota for women in the different in the respective structures of the NOC, and even promote it to the level of national federations. Really, women are assets, and if you look at the even the chunk of women in our population, you know that really we need to promote women in sports. And sports is one way we can really strengthen, we can really support women and motivate them. And you look at another pillar where we are talking about safeguarding and all
Yeah.
these things. So that's another pillar also where we would also, have processes and procedures that will also protect these women as they participate in sports, to make sure that they, all these other things. But really, it's something that we will look at very, very well. Women in sports, promoting, motivating, encouraging women to participate in sport and supporting them. We one of our best athletes right now,
Gina.
Gina Bass, is a woman, so it's a lady.
Incredible. So you can pass the other microphone to your incoming SG. He was the SG, of
I'm
course,
still the SG.
and he's still the SG. Perhaps he might continue as the SG very shortly. So Yoro is a familiar face, the Secretary General of the GNOC. Welcome to the program one more time. I mean, Yoro, you have been in this office for quite a while now. I mean, you joined by, you want to make sure that he wins the election. I mean, tell us some of the things that you have been doing as the Secretary General of the GNOC.
Well, thank you, Del. I think it's clear as per our constitution the role of the Secretary General,
Mhm.
and it's a general principle that Secretary Generals are responsible for the day-to-day operation of the Secretariat, among other things.
Mm.
And they also, as per the constitution of the GNOC, also receive correspondence on behalf of the NOC, and as well execute um, any decisions taken by the board to ensure that it's executed. So basically, to sum up, that's the role of the Secretary General. It's more of the backbone when it comes to correspondence, among other things.
In your function, were you, I mean, getting everything that you deserve, I mean, as Secretary General in running the office?
So let's roll back to why I joined Team Buy now. It's important because I was in the opposing team.
Yeah.
So I was in Team Beatrice in 2021 for a reason. Because when I graduated from Swansea, I did my master's thesis on transparency of the Gambia National Olympic Committee as a component of good governance. So I'm an ethicist. Governance is my area because I did my second master's in sports ethics and integrity. So, and I was availed the opportunity to look at the governance in the NOC. I was able to interview out of 49 board members. So I realized that uh, the data that I collected after my analysis, I realized that the GNOC is not transparent, because in my questionnaire, I have some list of questions that I ask one board member, another board member, and you have different questions. So
Different answers.
yeah, different answers. So I was hopeful that, okay, after my studies, I had some recommendations. So I would join the NOC and help them fix that. So I was actually invited to join the board. But when I joined the board, uh, I was not surprised, but I was not expecting that to happen in that in that magnitude. So when I joined, I realized that the GNOC is just two board member operations, because there were a lot of decisions that were not taken by the board. Okay, so we have two tiers. You have the management, that is the five, that's the president, two vice president, the secretary, and the treasurer. That's the management. They work on the day-to-day running of the board as well, and then you have the board, which comprises of other members. But you will realize that some of the decisions that are taken even by the GNOC are only central to the president and to the treasurer. You understand? A lot of things happen because I have served as a secretary general for the last 3 years. I do not even have access to the password
of the emails, the
yeah.
correspondence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember speaking to the president. I mean, when I asked her why is the secretary general, as the constitution says, he should run the secretariat, and he's not having access to emails. But what he said is the executive director who is running the office, and the person is the one responsible as per constitution. So
Yes. Sometimes I think it's matter of being ignorant in the guiding document. Because if you read the constitution, it tells you that the secretary general receives all correspondence.
yeah, I've read it, and in fact, I put that to her that what the constitution says otherwise.
So that shows the type of dictatorship that we have. And currently, so it's politic time. We are going around and the associations that are supporting us are telling us the same thing that the other camp is telling them. So the other camp is blaming that what is wrong, these people that, and they're a part of a whole. So the current president of the other team is it's the treasurer.
But you are the secretary general of the NOC.
Yes, I have stand out clearly with evidence, and it's all over the newspapers that
when the GNOC fails, the SG is part of it.
No, look, I think if I were silenced about issues that have been going on in the GNOC, but I was never silenced. If you go to the newspapers, you will see I have email correspondence where I will refer the president and the board, and all this thing has never been even addressed by any board member. So it means they're accomplice to whatever happened.
So why didn't you resign then?
No, look, there are two type of things.
Yeah.
If you want to bring change, because if I had resigned, we would not have had this opportunity to know much about the NOC. So sometimes resignations could play a very important role. But also, I was able to stay and ensure that I know deep to the core of everything that was happening. And really, as we are speaking, the leadership we had is the worst leadership since the establishment of the GNOC.
How is that?
Oh yeah, because some of these things had never happened. I have witnessed other.
I remember the AGM that was organized in December. It couldn't go through because some differences were there. When the votes were made, the majority said no, and still there was an insistence at some corner, which you guys really against the way the status quo was run. And of course, the second one also, the same thing occur, and you think that the way the modus of operandi at the office is not right.
So Del, the Gambia National Olympic Committee was established in 1972. Maybe we were not born before then. But you ask elders that were there, if such thing had ever happened where the General Assembly would vote no to the agenda of it, had never happened. So
more than 10 hours was wasted.
So if I say this is the worst leadership ever, I have my evidence.
So what can you change with Team Buy?
So this is not an individual thing, it's a team, and everything that we want to do is captured in our manifesto, and these are realistic manifesto. I studied in Olympic University. I did my first master's in the Russian International Olympic University. I did sports management. I transited to Swansea University, where I did sports ethics and integrity. I was one time in Greece. So my entire, since I graduated from my BSc, my entire career has been revolving around sports management. So, but you cannot do it alone. You need a team, and with BUY, we have all seen how high about transforming NOC, not a team that is just going to come and use the NOC as a means to an end. And if you look at Team BUY, the composition of Team BUY, every one of us is playing a very key role in their association. The president of Team BUY, who is by Dodou, is a president of Gambia Volleyball. The first vice president, who is Lamin Kinkoli.
So, in fact, I want to ask by about Lamin King Kohli's
Yes,
issue.
let me just complete.
You can switch on your the other mic. It's yeah. It seems like I'm seeing it blinking. Switch it on underneath. Wow. Si suuf bosa rek dafa taal. Yeah. Let me help you.
So the second vice is the first vice president of Jeven, who is Bakel Jame, myself, the aspiring secretary general. I'm the secretary general of the Gambia Swimming. And then you have the treasurer by Madi Sise, who is the first vice president of Gambia Badminton. You have the other three members, DPS Abdullah Ka, who is the technical director and a board member of the Gambia Athletics Association. And then you have Bakeba Suso, who is the president of Gambia Taekwondo. And you have Amijabang, who is a board member of Talk of War. And he is also serving in committees of JFF. So these are not patches of people from all trade of businesses, but these are people that have seen the association grow. They were part of the growth. They are passionate in sports and they want to see sports grow.
Interesting. So that one to this man, and hopefully that will be the question that hopefully we will ask. And of course, the last part will be pre-recorded, and of course, we will play that another time. Hopefully, so how do you deal with the case of Lamin King Koli? I mean, he's nominated by two camps, your camps and Jagana's camp. How is that possible?
Well, Lamin Kinkoli is nominated by the two camps, which really give him which really means that he is unopposed when it comes to this election. He doesn't have an opponent. And I think both camps have shown confidence in him. I think but what is important to note is that Lamin Kinkoli have been fighting since 2016 about the transformation of the Gambia National Olympic Committee. And all those who follow the proceedings leading to this election know that Lamin Kinkoli is a leader in the camp that I am in. I mean, he has been the one even leading this camp for the last two GNOC elections. And he has decided that this time he wanna give me chance to move and lead the team. The camp is still his camp, but the team, I am leading the team. so really, I can confidently say Lamin Kinkoli is in my camp. His national federation, which is handball, actually nominated my camp, nominated me as president and the rest of my team by. So I think it's very clear. Maybe it's a strategy, maybe not, that the other camp is trying to play. Maybe they have the confidence, or maybe they are just playing a strategy. But I mean, this is what we have seen. But we are very sure of his support and him being part of our team.
Do you think you will win?
Yes, I think I will win this election.
How are you going to win the election?
It's very clear that majority of the national associations who are going to be voting in these elections have already shown their intention to support Team By through the nominations. Of course, after that we have to go to the actual thing, which is the voting. But the nomination is a clear indication of what the national federations wants. And this have not changed. And I am sure, I mean, it will not change going into the election. So I am really sure of winning, and as I can assure the Gambian people that with the team that we have.
So 10 Olympic sports nominated you plus 6 non-Olympic sports associations.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to the nomination of the other camp, which is just 7 Olympic sports, and none of the non-Olympic sports nominated them.
Yeah, but don't you think, on the day of the election, things can change?
Yeah, nobody knows what 100%. But let me tell you, I am very much confident that we will get through the line and win these elections.
Finally, what is your message to the sports associations, those that you think have confidence in you, that come the 23rd, you will emerge as the winner?
Look, I think we have seen how our National Olympic Committee really have For me, the significance and the value of the National Olympic Committee has not been coming out over the last years. And I think some of us who are within the structures of the national federations and who have seen what it takes to run a national federation and what you need as a national federation, I think it's time for us to go and really manage the affairs of the NOC. So I want to tell everybody that this is the right time to make the change.
All right.
It cannot be better than this time, and let's do it so that we move sports in this country to another level.
All right, thank you so much, by Dodou Jallow, aspiring presidential candidate for the 23rd November election of the Gambia National Olympic Committee. And finally, Secretary General Njie and incoming Secretary General also Njie for Team By. Your final message and what do you want to leave the listeners with?
Thank you so much, Del. Just to add to what Bai said about the nomination, I think it's important for people to know that the other camp, the aspiring candidate, has not been nominated by his own association.
Yeah, we know about that.
So it's not, maybe you know about that, but like if
he's coming here tomorrow, so we will have a tete conversation.
If you cannot be trusted by your own association to be nominated, then how can you convince other associations to nominate you or to vote for you? I think this is politics. We have to just hit it hard and speak the truth. As the Secretary General, I was really constrained to do my job, and but I didn't rest on my whatever, but I was always ensuring that I send emails to where it is necessary and raise certain things, because I was doing it for tomorrow, and I have all those I have all those email trails, among other things. So if I stand here and say this is one of the worst leadership that we had, I had my evidence. Right. So what I will say is we are still on the campaign. We are tight marking our members, and they're giving us all information that the other camp is giving them, but we will not say it here.
That's interesting.
Because that's our strategy. Remember, I was the chief strategist of Team Beatrice.
I know.
I did everything. I even wrote the manifesto of that team. So I know their weakness and their strength. And voting for the other camp, it's just like continuing the status quo. That's the reality.
All right, thank you so much. Of course, Run Njie, the Secretary General of the Gambia National Olympic Committee. Of course, final message to the public, because I'm sure we've already exhausted the time allocated, and I'm